Okay, we're looking at bullet points, a rhetorical synthesis the student wants to, let's figure out, to emphasize the significance of Ochoa's discovery. So what is Ochoa's discovery and why is it important? Ochoa discovered the enzyme PNPase in 1955. PNPase is involved in the creation and degradation of mRNA. Okay, so this is what it does, not yet really telling us why that's important. Ochoa incorrectly hypothesized that PNPase provides the genetic blueprints for mRNA. The discovery of PNPase proved critical, this is the why, to deciphering the human genetic code. That's it. That's the significance of the discovery. Deciphering the genetic code has led to a better understanding of how genetic variations affect human health. So, okay, that's why the genetic code is what it does and part of the importance, but the importance of his discovery is to decipher the genetic code. And the reason for that, in turn, is to, it affects our understanding of human health. So let's take a look. Which answer choice pulls this together? Ochoa's discovery proved critical to deciphering the human genetic code, leading to a better understanding of how genetic variations affect human health. That looks like it. It's deciphering the genetic code, and the benefit of that is to understand how it affects variations of, how variations affect human health. This is going to be our answer. It's just too clear. We'll check B, C, and D. Ochoa first discovered an enzyme that he hypothesized contained, no, that says nothing about the significance of his discovery. That's a hypothesis, by the way, not a discovery yet. In 1955, Ochoa discovered the enzyme, which is involved in both the creation and degradation. Again, yeah, it is, that's true. It's involved in mRNA, but that says nothing about its significance. Though his discovery of PNPase was critical to deciphering the human genetic code, so right away we're starting with a contrasting transition. That's bad, okay? Ochoa incorrectly hypothesized that the enzyme was the source of the genetic blueprints. Yeah, he made a mistake along the way, but ultimately it turned out to be more useful. So anyway, that is wrong, and A is the correct answer. We've got bullet points, student wants. This is a rhetorical synthesis. We want to figure out what the student wants that we need to accomplish. He wants to present the study and its findings. We need background material and the findings. Findings are usually the end bullet points. Let's take a quick look. Pterosaurs were flying reptiles that existed millions of years ago. The study in 2021 analyzed fragments of their jaw bones in the Sahara. She was initially unsure if the bones belonged to juvenile or adults, so they analyzed pterosaur jaw bones to check if they're adults or juveniles. And the method was to use microscope techniques, and she concluded, this is the finding, that the bones belong to juveniles. So in 2021, there was a study to check pterosaur jaw bones to see if they were adults or juveniles. The result was they were juveniles. So 2021 studied pterosaur bones. This is good. Was initially unsure if they belonged to juveniles or adults. This is true, but this is missing the findings. No findings there. No conclusion. So we need, in our condition of the question, the findings. Okay. B, pterosaur jaw bones located in the desert were the focus of a study. Again, that says nothing about the findings. C, in a 2021 study, they used advanced techniques. No, that's the method. We don't really care about the method. We just want to describe the study and the findings, nothing else. D, in a study, Turan determined that pterosaur jaw bones located in the Sahara Desert had few growth lines relative to bones of fully grown and thus belonged to juveniles. So here's the study. We're introducing it. Here's the findings. It was juveniles. That's your answer. D is the correct answer. Remember, every study has a purpose, a hypothesis, a method, and a finding. Make sure you're focusing on the right part relative to the condition of the question. Okay, rhetorical synthesis. The student wants to explain the goal of Brook Farm using a quote from George Riley. So we need a quote to explain the goal. Okay, well, right away I see here a quote, and it looks like to guarantee. That seems to be like a goal. So this is probably going to be it. Let's just quick check all the bullet points. Some U.S. reformers sought to improve society in the 1800s by building utopias. A utopia is a community intended to represent a perfect society based on a specific set of principles. One such community was Brook Farm near Boston, Massachusetts. It was founded in 1841 by Ripley. Okay, that's the subject of our question. Ripley wrote in a letter that his goal for Brook Farms, quote, was to guarantee the highest mental freedom. That is the goal. Well, how's he going to do it? By providing all with labor adapted to their tastes and talents and securing to them the fruits of their industry. Okay, that sounds fairly idealistic, but okay. So he's explaining the goal. The goal is to guarantee mental freedom. And this is what it indicates in the quote. Let's take a look. In a letter, Ripley explained his goal to guarantee the highest mental freedom. So we want to explain the goal using a quote. And that's using the quote, and that's explaining the goal. This looks good. I'm going to hold on to A for now. Let's check B, C, and D. B, utopias such as Brook Farm, found in 1841, were based on a specific set of principles intended. No, that's just saying what it is, not the goal. C, founded by Ripley, Brook Farm was a part of a trend, not the goal. D, established in 1841, Brook Farm was a utopian community created to guarantee the highest mental freedom by providing all with labor and the fruits of their industry, according to founder George Ripley. This is not bad. Hold on, let's take a look here. He wants to explain the goal of Brook Farm using a quote from George Ripley. Writer George Ripley explained his goal to. This is not exactly a quote. This is not a direct quote. So one problem here is not a direct quote from George Ripley. Okay? This is, quote. This is a direct quote. And we want to use a quotation from George. So establishing, is it explaining the goal using a quote? Establishment as a utopian society created to guarantee the highest mental freedom by providing all with labor, according to founder. This is his quote. I'm going to go with D. I think D is the better answer. Okay, add some extra information in there, but they do want us to explain, so maybe that extra information is a better explanation too. Yeah, as I look at that information, I realize A does not even mention Brook Farm. And that obviously has to be part of it because that's the goal for which we're trying to answer the question. So A definitely lacks that, and D does have it. D is the better answer.